Hello there.
Man, oh man, a sugary for the ages to finish that set.
Did I hear a little Rolling Stones quote in John's guitar solo toward the end?
You heard you can't always get what you want
Yeah, I thought
emphatically. Yet,
so. Yeah.
yet another homage to Charlie Watts, I'm sure. Well deserved. So beautiful.
Well,
Yes, indeed.
I was very busy enjoying that jackstraw when they snuck up on us with a kick-ass sugaree. Uh, that's the way it works here.
Yeah, Jackstraw is frequently the climax and closer of a set, and they had a little more up their sleeves. God bless them.
Not too
So
shabby.
let's just tell people that this is the phenomenon that is Dead Air with Lambert and Gans. I'm Lambert, and counterintuitively, I'm pointing over there to indicate Gans, because this is not a mirror after all.
That's right.
Uh, and this is what we do during halftime at these shows. Instead of subjecting you to a please stand by or please stay tuned slide, and we hope you're enjoying it more than that. And that's right. David's got his sign. There you go. Please stand by. But we're gonna have you do more than stand by. We're gonna bring on a great guest in just a moment. But one of the reasons we're here is to tell you that these streams are available through nugs.net. If you're watching the free preview of the second set, you also get this as part of it. But if you missed the first set because you're just watching the free preview of each song, you can go back, purchase the whole show, and then watch the whole show for 48 hours or more after you start watching it the first time. So that's a really nice deal. And of course, you can also look into all the subsequent shows on the tour, and there are a bunch of them to go. So we're really happy to be here. And we've had great guests this whole time. And I'd love to bring on our guest right now if we have no other business to attend to. All right. What can I say? A great musician, a stellar human being. One of the people who's really been instrumental in carrying Grateful Dead music into the future, recontextualizing and revitalizing it in surprising ways. And the leader of Joe Russo's Almost Dead, why, it's Joe Russo.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, dudes. Hey, guys. How's it going? Thank you for that lovely intro. What's going on?
Well, sure, my friend.
I like the pointing thing you guys got down. I feel like you guys can really keep expanding on that. Good.
It takes some thinking to remember that I'm pointing this way when I'm looking.
Exactly.
It's
like backing up a trailer. Yeah.
Right. It took some choreography. Right. It took some choreography the first few times we tried it. Anyway, Joe, it's so great to see you.
You too.
So much to talk about. And Joe is coming to us from New Haven, Connecticut. And the reason he's there is because tomorrow night he is wrapping up this wonderful late spring into summer residency that Joe Russo's Almost Dead, better known as J-Rad for short, has been doing at a venue called the Westville Bowl, Westville Music Bowl in New Haven, old tennis stadium for Yale, I believe. And they've done a whole bunch of wonderful shows starting in late May and through the summer, and they're wrapping it up tomorrow. And Joe, I'm sure that has been a wonderful return to live music for you guys in J-Rad.
Oh, man, it's been on having this place to kind of kick it back for us with, first of all, an amazing place to play, a place that's close to our homes, and a place that felt like super safe to be doing what we were doing, getting back at it. The fact that we're almost on the other side of 9 shows of this place is just incredible, and we just feel so thankful that we've gotten to set up camp here.
Yeah, I've watched some of the live streams from Westville, and I've been to one show in person, and the unmitigated joy of an audience to be there together, but socially distanced. It's really well set up that people don't have to be, jammed into a pit together or anything. Not that I'm saying anything against being jammed in a pit, because a lot of people are tonight, but you guys did it at a time when there was still some question about, what the safety is and all that. And I think it's really been done nicely at Westville. At a couple of shows, we saw your audience getting drenched but not budging
Oh man, yeah.
in downpours, and that was a beautiful thing to behold. The people are willing to endure a lot for the joy of music.
It's been incredible. We've strangely, the weather has been following us around to the point where I even saw people joking that they assumed J-Rad was playing a show a couple days ago because the weather's been so insane. It's a pretty solid burn. But yeah, the first show's back. I think I discussed it with you guys on the show when I called in a few weeks back. It was slightly anti-triumphant by design, and everybody just rose to the occasion. The crowd was just so phenomenal and stuck through it with us, and it really, in the end, as I think I said last time, ended up being so much more cathartic and beautiful, I think, for everyone involved, because it was just like, oh, we're not there yet. We need to fight a little bit more to get through these shows. And the crowd's been amazing. The venue's been amazing. And yeah, God, most of the shows we've played since we've been back have been at this place. So it's become this like second home to us, or first home since the big break. So we're just so thankful for everybody over there, and thankful for the people that have been coming out. And yeah, looking forward to putting a bow on it tomorrow,
Oh, sorry.
I thought
We're being a little too polite here. At some point, we need to run down the set list of tonight's show, and I was wondering if you did you watch the set with us, Joe?
I did. Yeah, I watched the whole set. It was really fun. It's rare that I find myself alone to do such a thing when I'm not at home tonight. So no kids jumping all over me. Yeah, it was really great. I thought they did a great job. It was fun to see the joy on the crowd's faces, and just seeing Bob, especially he looks incredible. He sounds incredible. Just makes me smile every time I see that man, and everybody in the band, and seeing a beardless Jeff made me feel special. And
we'll tell them you said so.
Yeah, I miss all those guys so much. But yeah, it's awesome. It's great to hear the drummers, Bob, hammering out these jams. It's like that's the source material. It's amazing, and it's just so fucking amazing that that giant crowd is there every goddamn night, and it's just so beautiful. And hearing John drive it, like you and I were texting a little bit during the show, and he's jumping around like a maniac and really putting his stamp on it. It's just awesome to see, and it's that continuation of everybody's shared experience, and everybody getting allowed to kind of hop in the sandbox and put their own little stamp on these moments, and watching him and Oteil also get to do that is always just really enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, Joe, it's been, I think we're going on 12 years since you got lured into this world with Phil's invitation to join him and Bobby in Further. Could you have even imagined where this would have taken you?
Not one bit. It's just amazing. It feels like there's this pre-Further life and post-Further life, and something that never, ever, ever my wildest dreams would have been a part of my life, just for the sake of it. It wasn't a possibility. Like, why would I be involved in this world? And the gift that, the gift of this music and just the experience I've had. I was speaking with someone the other day about Further, and we were kind of telling old stories about, being out there with Bob and Phil. And it was nice to just sit back and think about that. I was like, holy shit, man. Like, I remember walking with my wife up the steps of MSG and just started to cry, because I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm Dead music with Bob Weir and Phil Lesh at Madison Square Garden. Like, the whole thing, it's such a silly story. It's almost unreal, and yeah, I just look back at all of that so fondly, and it's crazy to think, 12 years ago, didn't know a lot of these songs. I didn't know they existed, you know? And to have those guys kind of beat me up and jump me into the gang, it was such an honor, you know? And then everything else is just gravy. It's all just been playing this music and just being so lucky to do so with so many different people.
Yeah. And of course, just as Further was starting to wind down, you kind of stumbled into this other outlet for taking this music in a really personal way for you and a bunch of old friends who you'd played music with for years, but not in a Grateful Dead context. And that became J-Rad.
Right. Yeah. Again, something that was certainly never supposed to be a thing, became a thing once, and now it's a thing. It's just crazy. It's just kind of, it's all just so silly in the best way, because it's like I wake up every day just being so thankful to get to do what I get to do with my friends, and get to use these tools that were given to me by the creators of Thing, you know, and kind of get to take it for a spin with my pals. And at this point, God, I don't know, we've been doing it for 8 years, maybe. I don't even know. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just great, you know. And then I think about all the connective tissue in between all the shows I did with Phil, and you know, when he was launching Terrapin, and all those cap shows back in the day, and you know, help working with Bobby on the Blue Mountain record. You know, it's just like so much cool stuff that I'm so thankful for. I try not to stay grateful because I don't want to be a pun machine. But it's true. It's just so cool, you know. And yeah, and I think all the guys in our group certainly feel that way, because we get to go out and we do all of the things that we do that are wildly different than what we get to do together. And the fact that we can go out and speak our language in all these other ways, and then bring those experiences back into this like very specific thing, it just always refuels the tank for us. So it always just feels like, yeah, like you're just on the playground and with your pals, and people want to see you like fuck around on the monkey bars and maybe fall. And you know, it's a blast. It's truly so much fun.
It's funny you say that. I don't think people are waiting for a train wreck to take place, but it is risky music. I mean, it does involve taking chances and going into uncharted realms and stuff.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's always been the design, from what I understand, of the Grateful Dead. It was that singular concept, that more important than genre that were being played, the attitude that was thrust upon those notes and those genres, is really the through concept for me when I think about this music. It's an attitude that they all took from all the different wild places they were coming from musically, but that shared intent is super ballsy. And I, you know, I don't know how often I've seen such a true delivery of that. You know, it's like you see it in jazz, you see it in, you know, different places, but I mean, in the best way, it really felt like they were just like, we don't give a fuck. We're going to go out and we're going to create something in this moment. And that's all that matters. The end point doesn't matter. It's the intent, the experience, and then we're done with it. And I think it's just so cool. And that's something that I've since playing with Bob and Phil, and especially Phil, you know, and having great conversations with him back in the day, really, that just kept getting higher and higher in my, you know, important things to do on stage, you know, and that became the only thing to do on stage, is just go for it. And the rest of it is just part of the experience, you know?
Yeah. You know, a big, an essential part of improvisation is, you know, losing your fear of failure. Right.
Right.
And those guys were willing to fail.
It's fun to do that. They were in the coolest way. And I, you know, I think Krasno and I I was on his podcast a long time ago, and I remember he and I touching upon this kind of a thing. There's just an energy to it where you can be fearless and you can be going for stuff, but to really not worry about the result in any negative way is kind of hard to do, and it's something that I certainly feel like is an incredible gift or approach to have shared with you, or whatever it may be. I'm having a hard time articulating it, but yeah, just like really being completely free to the moment and just full caution to the wind is one of the best stuff happening.
Well, they kind of invented this form of music, this kind of improvisational folk rock here that allows for eclectic repertoires all strung together with this sort of complicated but highly democratic language. And now we've seen, as you are amply demonstrating, hundreds and hundreds of other musicians who are adept and fluent in that language, having their own conversations all over the world. And bearing out the prediction that I made 40 years ago in an interview with Jerry, that this music was going to outlive the people who invented it.
I think it's going to outlive the next however many generations pass. I think it's a part of the fabric of music, of culture, of all of it. And I think it gets even more important by the day. A testament, like I said, watching the stream with you guys and see, Jesus Christ, man, like that's happening right now. That's happening tonight. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and you were, I think, even more suited to getting into this world than you might have even imagined, because you came out of a very experimental music scene. You kind of straddled the wetland scene and also places like the Knitting Factory in New York. You were sort of an experimenter by nature, but then this music has even taken you into places like Americana, because you wound up playing with Levon and people like that. And, so you've actually expanded into all these other worlds that the Grateful Dead covered.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, the information that I've gained on so many levels through this music, it's really overwhelming to think about. Like I always likened the Further gig to that movie Slumdog Millionaire, where the guy, the kid knew all the answers because of his different experiences, and I had always thought of it going in as, oh, I've had all these experiences. That's what informed me to be able to do the Further gig. But in the end, it's the other side now, where it's like from that, all this other stuff, like you said, like, between playing with, these countless incredible connections with people, of music and different, songs and genres, and this whole thing that now I feel very strongly connected to. It's almost like it went in to get there, and now it's all getting a chance to blossom out. And now I can apply this music on when I'm playing a free jazz gig with Dave Harrington.
Excellent.
Maybe I'm gonna approach Moment After Touch or a more delicate thought because I'm now informed by this experience. So it's not only those other things coming into informing me how to play this music. It's this music now informing me on my approach to everything else.
That's wonderful. I had a conversation with David Kemper once, about probably 20 years ago, who was both Bob Dylan's drummer and Jerry Garcia's drummer at various times. He once told me that being the drummer in the Jerry Garcia band never once led him to another gig. In the way that the whole music business is full of people networking and one gig leading to another, he said that in a very strange way, being in the JGB was a dead end musically for him. And that was true in a certain era when the Grateful Dead was an isolated part of this thing. But in the last 30 years or so, the Grateful Dead became a whole other thing and became a cultural institution, and like widespread adoption and appreciation of what they were doing. But there was a moment there when they were a backwater kind of. It's been very interesting to watch it expand so hugely.
Yeah, I agree. I think there certainly was a stigma about it. And again, I've spoken with you guys many times about my experience growing up. When I was a kid, I was into hard rock, and the Into the Dead were Into the Dead, and that's it. You did, music, And I think those lines across so many things, way more than even, have been beautifully erased. I don't think anyone worries about what someone's listening to, what you're listening to. Like, everybody's just like music, music, music. And again, it's like, the microcosm that the Grateful Dead is really that in itself. Like, it's jug band, folk, it's jazz, it's, Americana, it's like, they were like the original live Spotify playlist. It's just like, this is all the shit we like. And we can listen to it all at the same time. And I think it's awesome, and I do think that's a culture that's going on now. As many things that are confusing about music and how we listen to it and how we share it and all that stuff. I think a cool thing that's come out of it is that thing where it's just like, oh, I like this music, I like this music, I like this music, I like this music. And it's all living in the same place. And I think that's maybe, I don't know, has that helped break down that line of that cult of the Grateful Dead, where someone would not, having a dead end gig with Jerry Garcia Band seems like a pretty far out concept.
Yeah. Well, I think the people who viewed the Grateful Dead in that bubble, in that, 1967 San Francisco psychedelia, little, sort of musical ghetto, were not seeing the extent to which they were a portal to an infinite number of musical worlds. I mean, how many bands in the course of their career could turn their audience on to Hank Williams, Ornette Coleman, Baba Olatunji, and Karl-Heinz Stockhausen or whatever. I mean, the breadth of it is just so amazing.
That's right. They're the ones. I can't think of another one. It's so cool. And maybe it is that distance and that time that's gone on where it's so widely apparent that's at another thing at the core of this band is it just keeps getting deeper.
I hate to interrupt this musical conversation because I'm really loving this musical conversation, but it's important for us to mention that if you're watching this right now on YouTube, you're getting a free sample of the Dead and Company show. You're going to get the first song of the second set for free here. And the idea is to show you how amazing this band is and how brilliant and beautiful the video coverage and audio mix are of the nugs.net feed, in hopes that you will buy it and watch the rest of the set, which I personally recommend because they're playing their asses off. And if you do that, you have 48 hours to watch the show as many times as you want to, which means you can go back and watch the first set if you missed that. Also, please visit livedead.co to complete that deal and to find out all of the other things that nugs.net has to offer, including a subscription service, a connection to SiriusXM that gives you access to their extensive library, stuff like Bruce Springsteen. A recent show just got released just today from Bruce Springsteen's archive, that kind of stuff on nugs.net. And that's why they brought us in to do something a little bit more entertaining than this for a half an hour, and to attract you to what nugs.net is doing.
And now, back to our musical conversation.
I gotta say though, sorry. It looks amazing. I gotta say, to Dave's point, I was watching, I was like, holy shit, this looks incredible. So get the stream.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, they know what they're doing. But anyway, Joe, in this very weird couple of years, while you were waiting to get back up to full speed, touring and all that stuff, you've done some really interesting stuff. Some in very tiny clubs in New York, like New Blue, and, getting together with old friends of yours in really amazing contexts, playing the Newport Jazz Festival with an incredible combination of people, playing at the Relic Studio with Marco and Christian McBride and the wonderful Michaela Davis, who we had on last week. And she was just still levitating about the experience of playing with you guys and playing at Newport. So you've had time to really do some very, very cool stuff, despite the fact that you were kind of confined in the travel aspect of things anyway.
Yeah, I mean, God, again, I'm just so thankful to be playing music again, and the fact that we got to do the Bogey Band, which is a new project with myself and Stuart Bogey, and just this incredible ensemble of just genius musicians that we get to play with. We have a record coming out, I think, early next year. And we got to do a gig at New Blue, and then made our debut at the Newport Jazz Festival, where Marco and I and Michaela and Christian McBride got to play together again after John Scofield. Can't leave out John Scofield. Embarrassment of riches. And Christian and I and Michaela and Marco did a beautiful improvisation at Levon's barn for the Mockingbird Foundation, and that's what kind of brought our world together. And that's just, it's just beautiful. Getting to play music again is just the best thing in the world, and I really hope we all get to keep doing it, and I hope we all get to go see it, and everybody keeps doing the right stuff. And, it's like, oh, please. But yeah, that said, the things that we've gotten to do since, I guess, Memorial Day, when the first of our Westville shows, it's just, I'm so thankful. And I can't wait to do more things. There's so many things that are on the back burner right now that we're going to try to get out in 20, and now 21, and now hopefully 22. But always looking to expand the palette and keep exploring stuff. I have a great gig coming up with actually Dave Harrington and John Medeski in Brooklyn at the end of the month for Brooklyn Comes Alive. That's a trio that's been trying to get together for years. So hopefully, that goes off without a hitch. And, while the weather tried our luck and patience at Lock-In, we got to do this incredible improvisation with John and Billy and the guys from The Slip. And those are the things that are just, like I said, every morning I wake up and I'm thankful for those moments and how much we've gotten to get in so far. It's incredible.
Right. And JRAD is actually getting ready to go back out with some real touring, right?
That's the hope. Yeah. We have, I mean, that's kind of where we are now. Well, like I said, we have this show tomorrow. We have a couple shows in Asheville, and then there's stuff on the calendar, and I really hope there's a way to get it all in. Again, there's stuff that I think we were hoping to have announced by now that we're just kind of waiting a little bit because I think we're all just being a little extra careful with not wanting to put stuff up and take it down again, because that hurts more than not doing it at all. For us too. I know it hurts for the people going to the shows, but it hurts for the bands too. It breaks our hearts when we have to do that. So hopefully there's some cool news coming everyone's way soon, and keep finding ways to do it.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something that's on the schedule.
Lines,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Gary.
Go ahead, David.
Go. Well,
I was just going to say something that
change the subject.
Folks, this is called latency, and it means you hear the person talking a little bit later than they actually spoke, and we overlap a bit, but that's kind of like improvisational music of its own. So anyway, one of the things on your calendar is a return to Frost Amphitheater, and it must be a great thing. I know you've played Red Rocks, and playing these iconic Grateful Dead venues with JRAD must have an extra kind of vibe to it.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's built. I think we played at the Frost right when it reopened in, I guess, 19. And it was, what a beautiful space. And any of those places that are kind of pre-charged with that energy, again, the band feels it as much as the crowd does. And we're as excited and feel that gentle bubbling underneath the surface. And it's just always such a treat. Those places being visually beautiful, but then again, having that history, it just kind of just adds to the heft of the moment, and you always want to try to rise to the occasion. It feels like there's a little extra something in there.
Right. Yeah, I have some friends who went to see you at Frost, and it was their first JRAD show. And I think they went mainly because, what the hell, it's Frost. They wanted to be back at Frost. But then they saw you guys and came away true believers in JRAD. So the venue may have drawn them, but the music sealed the deal, I'm happy to say.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, it's funny. I remember we're like, screw it, let's open up with a Hooterroll track, because we had Stu Bogey with us, and we opened up with, like, you know, some like violent free jazz, Jerry Garcia, Howard Wales composition. You know,
Yeah,
we take our liberties.
beautiful.
We're like, all right. But
I think the word composition is used very carefully there.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah. See,
Hey, Joe?
upon, yeah.
Yeah, we are told the band is making its way back to the stage, which means we've got to say our good nights to you. Always so great to talk to you, my friend. Wishing you the best at Westville. I may be tempted to make my way up to New Haven tomorrow. I'm not sure if I can really stick to the concept of adult responsibility when you guys are so close by. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Well, love you guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the tour if I don't see you, and thanks for having me.
Great to see you, Joe. Hey, we never did get to running down the actual set list tonight, so let me tell you that you've heard so far in this show: Mississippi Half Step, Into Cold Rain and Snow, Minglewood. I don't know which. This is like the 19th revision of All New Minglewood Blues that Bob Weir has done in the last 60 years. Such a great song. Mm-hmm. When I Paint My Masterpiece, Dire Wolf, Jack Straw, and I put 2 check marks next to Jack Straw in my handwritten set list to remind me to go back and listen to that one on the nugs.net download, because there was some extra amazing stuff happening during the instrumental breaks of Jack Straw. And then they closed the set with Sugary, about which we were already raving at the beginning. One other thing, very quickly before we go back to the stage, I was having a conversation with a fellow named Sly Slavinsky just before we went on the air, and he wanted me to tell all of you that we all really need to be extra kind to each other these days. There's a lot of anger and spite going around in the world, both face-to-face and in the online world, and he just wanted me, in the name of Deadhead online communities, to ask all of you to be kind to one another. Take a little extra moment to think about your response before you deliver it. And let's all try and be a little sweeter to one another. And now let's go back to Dead and Company.
Yeah. Have we got our cue yet? No, not really.
Told to say goodbye.
That was to Joe, I believe.
Oh, we have to keep vamping. You're
still stuck. You're still stuck with us for a minute, but we hope it's only a minute. Yeah, the band. Oh, lights! We've been reprieved. See you tomorrow. See you Sunday. Good night, everybody.
the way to go. Other hand, I've heard it said, just as hard with the weight of it. Who can deny, who can't deny, not just change the style. One step done and the other begun, and I wonder how many a mile. Spend a little time on the mountain, spend a little time on the hill. Things went down, we don't understand. Well, I guess in time we will. I don't know that I was told in the heat of the sun, again died of cold. Keep on coming on, standing waiting with the sun so hot.